Okay, we are on chapter 28. I'm also left with a question from the last chapter that's kind of been bugging me for a while. Why is Piper so aggressive and disrespectful of people's feelings? I'm like, what? There's got to be a reason. So I'm thinking about her a little bit. All right, tall for her age. Um, Same day. This is a long day for poor Moose. Wednesday, April 24th, 1935. The thing to do is to come clean. Talk to my mom, talk to my dad, tell them. They'll understand. It was an accident. 3 minutes, 5 at most. My mom said to treat Nat like a regular sister. Well, I certainly would leave a regular sister for 5 minutes. My mom can't be mad. Together we'll work out the right thing to do so this will never happen again. Notice how the sentences are so short to kind of show how stressed out he is. I can hear my mom's footsteps on the landing. She bursts in through the door. Look, Moose! She waves a newspaper in the air. She slaps it on the table. See? Didn't I tell you what a wonderful program they have? It's world famous. Look, it says so right here. New Hope for Kids with Mental Deficiencies, the headline reads. There's a picture of Mr. Purdy standing in front of the Esther P. Marinoff and a small close-up of a boy. Tom, age 10, was mute when he came to the Esther P. Marinoff, but now he speaks in simple sentences and reads at a third-grade level, the caption reads. The article is filled with quotes from experts. The program is quite extraordinary. It's modeled after a school in Switzerland run by the behaviorist Emil Binder. I skim down to see what Mr. Purdy has to say. Entrance in the school is highly selective. We have a small number of spaces for kids who are truly ready for the kind of opportunities we offer. Children start at the Esther P. Marinoff when they are 7 to 12 years of age and typically graduate at 18. Mr. Purdy says, how old does Mr. Purdy think Natalie is? Does he really believe she's 10? My mom has taken off her green hat and her green coat, and she's begun to make supper. Every minute or so she comes back to the table to read a part of the article again. It's as if the newsprint is warm and my mother's hands are very cold. Natalie's on the living room floor reading my math book like it's a newspaper. Mom, I need to talk to you, I say. Okay, honey, she smiles. I can't wait to tell your dad about this. And do you know what else? My mom claps her hands. Mrs. Kelly says Natalie is really improving. She's going to write her a flying color recommendation. That's what she said, flying colors. My mom hugs me. She's so happy she would hug the salt shaker if it were only taller. Your sister is going to be okay. She's going to be fine. I feel like that says exactly what the mom has been wanting and really what they've all been wanting all along. So I feel like that's important, that she's going to be okay. But Mom, I say, it says no kids are accepted after the age of 12. My mother freezes. She's so still it looks like she stopped breathing. Natalie is 10, Moose. You know that. Her voice has a catch in it. You can't be 10 for 5 years in a row, I whisper. Moose! My mother cries. Her eyes are like teeth tearing into me. I remember that funny look Mr. Purdy had on his face when he asked if Natalie was 10. All I see in my head is Natalie holding hands with a grown man. I can't stand this anymore, Mom, I say. I think that's really important that he's saying he really wants to be heard here. She's tall for her age. What's got into you? I look down at the article. I need to talk to you. Fine, we'll talk tonight. Your dad will be home any minute. Didn't I say that already? She slams down a square pan. It makes a tinny sound against the counter. Now I wish I hadn't said anything at all to my mom. I should have just talked to my dad about this. I feel like that's important, that he just is never heard by his mom. When my father walks in the door, my mother rushes to meet him. Cam, look! She hands New Hope for Kids with Mental Deficiencies to my father. This is a red letter day, my father agrees. He takes my mom in his arms and does a little jig in the kitchen. I can't stand to watch this. I head to my room. It's the second time he has said he cannot stand this. Hey, Moose, my father says later that night when Natalie's in bed. Mom says you want to talk to us. Yeah, I say, my heart beating loud and guilty in my chest. I close my book, wishing they'd forgotten. I'm going to underline that beating loud and guilty because I think that guilt is so important to this story. He feels so guilty about so many things. I don't think it's safe for Nat to follow me around, I say. My mother stares at me like she can't believe what I've just said. I'm going to mark that too. Because the way his mom responds to him is pretty consistent throughout this book. My mom stares at me like she can't believe what I've just said. But Moose, she's doing so well. Carrie Kelly thinks we shouldn't change one thing because being out with you kids and working one-on-one with her is the best possible. Something happened. I feel nothing when I say this, like my mouth is talking all by itself. They wait. What happened? My dad asks. He touches my arm gently. What a different response than his mom. My mind is scrambling. How can I tell them without really telling them? I don't think it's safe for her on this island. She doesn't understand stuff. It's dangerous. What happened? My father asks again. A Khan noticed her today, I said. My words feel like they are weighted down with stones. That is such a great simile to show just how bad he's feeling. My father sighs and sticks a toothpick in his mouth. Well, I can't say I'm surprised, Moose, but I understand how upsetting that would be. My mother glares at him. Okay, so I'm marking that too, like the way she's looking at Moose's dad. A Khan whistled at her. Is that it? She's a pretty little girl, your sister. I wish I had a penny for every time some guy whistled at me. Let's not lose sight of what's important here. Honey, wait. My father takes her arm again. So I just want to underline, let's not lose sight of what's important here, because I feel like I want to come back to that. So just mark that. No, you wait. Natalie is getting better. Do you know what she said yesterday? She said, you made me sad. Do you think I like making her sad? I don't. But she's never said anything like that before. What is 55,031 times 59,032? Does May 16th fall on a Wednesday in 1914? This she has said, but never you. Not mommy, you, a pronoun. I've been trying to get Natalie to use pronouns for her whole life and feeling. She said something she felt. Natalie is communicating with us. This is so important. There's no way she'll be turned down at the Esther P. Marinoff now. It's dangerous, Mom. I'm just going to mark contrast and contradiction next to what his mom said there, that she's using pronouns and talking about her feelings, because that's a way that Natalie is changing. All right, so let's go back. It's dangerous, Mom. Dangerous? Nothing is dangerous on this nothing on this island is half as dangerous as having her locked in her own world. Not 1/2, not 1/4, not 1/10 as dangerous as that. So I am not, do you two hear me, not going to change one single thing about Natalie's day. Things are going too well, and Moose, I won't have you skulking inside with her all afternoon. The smarts, I can't even believe she said this. I've been taking her with me everywhere. I haven't been sulking. No, of course not. My father's hand cups my neck. You've been a major reason. He's holding Moose's face. You've been a major reason why Natalie's doing so well, and your mother and I understand that. My mother glares at my father. She's really angry now, but I am too. No matter how hard I work, it's never enough. She walks out of the room, then back in. The entrance interviews for the Esther P. Marinoff are only 4 weeks away. We are so close. I don't want anything going wrong. Her voice cracks.
Jen, are you in middle class?
No, I'm just... Calm down, honey. Nothing's going to go wrong, my father says. It's not. Moose, he turns to me. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, but I need to talk to your mom for a minute alone. So, before you jot down what happened in this chapter, I just want to draw your attention to a couple of kind of again and agains, right? How Moose's mom reacts to Moose when he really wants her to listen, and how it kind of turns into the mom against the dad and Moose kind of become a unit. Like when she says, so I am not, do you two hear me, not going to change one single thing about Natalie's day. The idea that she addresses the two of them together like they're trying to screw things up for Natalie when actually they just as much want things to go as well. So I have questions why she thinks that. And the other line that really stood out to me is the one that says, no matter how hard I work, it's never enough. I think that is really important to think to Moose, right? That he feels guilty and no matter what he does, it's never enough. So go ahead and underline that and we'll talk about that. And jot down what happened in this chapter. And what do you think his dad wants to say? Think about that. What do you think the dad is going to say to the mom? All right, nice job, and I will see you tomorrow.